Ethiopia says it planted more than 350 million trees in 12 hours, smashing the previous world record of 50 million set by the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. The feat represents more than 3 trees for every man, woman and child in the country. Schools and government employees were given the day off. The police and army were even deployed. In the last 100 years, Ethiopia's tree cover has been reduced from 30% of the country to just 4%. The government hopes to partly redress the balance by planting 4 billion trees by the end of the year.
The issue of environment is of a major concern, even at the global level, but more so for this country. Most of the problems and famine we see in this country could be linked to the lack of protection for our environment.
Globally, since the start of human civilization, the number of trees is believed to have halved, from 6 to 3 trillion. A recent report from Swiss scientists says planting 1 trillion trees would absorb 2/3 of all the carbon produced since the start of the Industrial Revolution. They say trees are also cheaper and more effective in removing emissions from the atmosphere than alternative solutions. But at the moment, deforestation leads to a net loss of 10 billion trees every year. The Brazilian rainforest in particular is shrinking under the leadership of President Jair Bolsonaro. According to the Brazilian National Institute for Space Research, in July alone, 2,250 kilometers squared of Amazon rainforest were cleared, almost 4 times the previous year's figure. The world's running out of time. In July, global average temperatures were 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. That's dangerously close to the 1.5 degree threshold that scientists say will trigger a global climate disaster. And the causes are many. On Thursday, the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released a report on land use and its impact on global heating.
In the past decades, humanity has extended and intensified its use of land, as well as its use of drinking water. In certain cases, this has led to an end of biodiversity and ecosystem services. The report draws this worrying but unsurprising conclusion: the current use of land is not sustainable.
One of the key findings is that agriculture, especially raising livestock, contributes about 1/3 of greenhouse gases. To tackle the climate crisis, it says we need to do more than reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, our use of cars and plane travel. In fact, major changes in lifestyle are required.
Changing our diets towards less meat and more vegetables is expected to be one of the key recommendations, because it would not only free up land that we need for feeding people, which is of course a very high priority, it's also freeing land that we will need for forest protection and other ecosystems protection.
Trees are central to preserving our environment. They absorb carbon dioxide, reduce desertification and soil erosion, as well as being sources of food, fuel and medicine. Given their benefits, should more countries follow Ethiopia's approach and adopt a planting policy? And if so, is planting 1 trillion trees possible? Adam Pletts, The Newsmakers.